photo.
Oh, okay.
You have photos. You have all these photos on Picasa. If they live in iPhoto, this is how easily you can make a slideshow. Okay? And believe me, like with a memorial, you have 200 photos you got to go through. First of all, it's very difficult to go through many of those if you know the person, but you throw them together and you find appropriate music. You purchase it in iTunes for the songs that the person liked or certain songs of the year. Bam, you can bang one out and just be fantastic. I'm sorry?
Let's say you want to sell something on eBay. You take a picture of it, but you don't want to keep it in something like that. Can you have like a separate album that says eBay?
You can make as many albums you want, and yes, you'd make one with eBay, and then that would obviously be one where you, once you've done selling it, you'd throw the picture out of that album. So all an album is a way to help you organize your iPhoto library. Okay?
Is there any way to mark your photos so that they can't be copied if you share?
Not in this. In Aperture or in Lightroom, that's called watermarking.
Is that an app?
No, they are applications, and there's probably some free ones out there too. And what it does, it essentially puts an overlay on it that's your stuff.
Okay.
So I want to show you iMovie. I'm sorry, Mail. Let me get back to here.
Can I ask you a quick question before you go on?
Okay.
When you said you can share it and email it, when I click on that, it says you can't do that.
Because you haven't set up an email address in there in iCloud. You have to set up you have to set up your current email account in iPhoto. Let's go to iPhoto.
I have Google as my regular.
That's fine. So here's what you need to do in iPhoto. Go up to Preferences. It'll usually tell you to set up an account, and you go right here to Accounts, and you just set up your email here. And if you're using Apple Mail, the postage stamp it will probably fill in for you. Because what happens is it needs to know who it's sending it from. Okay? And that's where you would do that.
So so you go to iPhoto.
Preferences. And then this shows up. It usually comes up here, but click on Accounts. You're adding an account. You hit plus. Watch this. And you just put in your information right there. See, and it says, like if you had a Flickr account, like my Flickr account that you saw my photos from earlier, I can upload them straight from my photo to my Flickr, which, believe it or not, Flickr, since it gives you tons of storage, it doesn't upload RAW. It'll be a JPEG image. But other than that, it uploads the full size. So if you upload your most precious photos up there, and believe me, at a terabyte, you can upload all your photos. It's all free, and that equates to offsite storage of your photos, and you can decide to share a photo individually with someone, or share them with everyone, or share them with no one. Flickr is owned by Yahoo, and you need a Yahoo account for it, but it's so easy because it's straight from here.
Like a Yahoo email account?
Yeah, your Yahoo account, you would use that to sign in to Flickr. And I don't recommend using Yahoo for mail at all. Yeah. Get rid of it. It's the worst mail service in the world. Did you get it because they're your internet from SBC or AT&T, or you just, yeah, get rid of it. Let me finish photo and then we'll talk about that. No, but you can still use it, but stop using it, move to something else, and then you're not able to. Let me answer a question back here, and I'll tell you why, because it's a big deal.
On iPhoto or iTunes or whatever, how can you look at your hard drive on the Mac to see how much space you have left?
Well, actually, the easiest way is to go to the Apple logo, come down to About This Mac, and then you click on More Info. And up across here, you've got a little screen, and then Storage is what that's called. And this will show you how much room you have on your hard drive. Okay? You mean a DVD? You have to buy an external DVD player. Well, no, there's a reason for that. First of all, software used to come on CDs and DVDs. It's not happening much anymore. But secondly, it's the first point of failure on most of these devices. So Apple has said, well, let's put it external. And they really think it's not going to, just like The iMac was the first computer without a floppy drive. And they said, oh, it's the worst thing ever. Nobody has floppy drives anymore. You're really not going to have disks anymore. Most stuff is online. But they sell one, but you don't have to get the one Apple sells. There's other ones aftermarket for about half that price that plug in. But to be honest, the Apple one is worth it because it's very good quality and you're not likely to have any troubles. It's a CD. It's just like but instead of being built in, because it's the first thing that fails on any computer, so you plug it into USB, and that way, if it fails, you just plug a different one in.
But it's like one at a time?
Into USB. Yeah, it's a regular slot drive or slot disk one. All right, we were talking about photos, so what I want to do is in Mail, I'm going to go New Message. My screen is a little messed up. There we go. So in here, I have a couple options that say Photo Browser and Show Stationery. If I click on Show Stationery, I get some built-in stationaries that are pretty cool. So here's one like there. But let's go to one that says Photos. And let's click on this one. So there is a pre-done stationery, and it's got, just placeholder text down there so you can see what it looks like. But I want to go in, and let's make sure iPhoto is off. But I can go in here to Photo Browser and look at this. This is another reason to do albums. I have a little pop-up, and I want to take this photo, let's say, and drag it right there. And I'll take this photo and drag it right there. And then I can send this email with this neat stationery, and most people will be able to read it. Some emails won't support this, but it also attaches the photo as an attachment to it. So again, that's Show Stationery in this case, but you show stationery, and then the Photo Browser brings this little screen up that reaches in to iPhoto and pulls it. And the nice thing there is you can even go see we have different albums. We can look right into our different albums in iPhoto and drag them over. So you can have a great look in Mail with photos in it. Go ahead.
One sent your emails. Could you show me how to block?
Block someone?
Block,
Yeah. It's to block someone is there's a thing built in. Dun, 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 dun.
We're getting a late break.
Yeah, we're getting our light therapy, aren't we?
Yeah, really.
You could have said this and changed that.
Well, they've tried to and they've got it. They undid the demo, but they're going to work on it this week to try and get everything off of it. So.
I just like to have that family for myself. Yeah, really nice and big. No, only one door in and one door out, not three. Okay. Slider into the garage.
So in order to get your contact list on your email, you just hit the 2.
Correct.
Okay, no big.
So the question was, is how do I get to my contact list? That's one way. When you hit the 2, believe it or not, if you just start typing someone's name or their email address, it will autofill for you.
Oh.
And it gets that in 2 ways. It reaches into your contacts and extracts that email address for that person. Or if a previous recipient, if you send it to someone or you've received something from them, it will also fill that in if they're not in your contacts. So you don't...
And groups and all that?
Groups will fill in. In fact, if you have a group in contacts, and this is what's interesting. So in groups, let's go, while this is coming up, I'll try to go to groups. I wanted to see if this demo has it. So yeah, if you create a group is just like albums, where you drag people into a group, just like you do in an album, or in iTunes, you drag songs into a playlist. Isn't it funny how they all work the same? Amazing concept, isn't it? So you bring it into group, but what's really neat about groups is if your group was called jokes, let's say, and you start typing in the word jokes, instead of someone's email address, it will then use that group and fill in the entire group for you. So the only thing is, on your iPhone and your iPad, you cannot create groups, but if they're syncing via iCloud, those groups will show up on your iOS device.
Can you mark and drag?
Hang on one sec here, let me get shades up. They'll wonder what we're doing in here. All right, can I do what?
Can you mark several groups of photos and drag them all?
Yes. That's on your cheat sheet there, but let me show you. It's warming up. Okay. Actually, I'll show you in Finder once we get our screen up. Come on. Excuse this interruption, I apologize. Displays, AirPlay. Wow.